Welcome to the Literary Titan podcast. In every episode, we dive into a book we've just read and share our thoughts, from best-selling authors to rising literary stars. We read it. Now let's talk about it.
The Invisible Soul Anthology by George Beasley is a deeply personal Christian inspirational memoir built from nearly 50 stories, reflections, memories, and poems about trauma, faith, family, grief, mental health, and healing. Beasley describes the collection as a journey from hidden struggles toward emotional healing and redemption, and that idea gives the book its shape. George moves through memories as they surface, taking readers from childhood abuse and group homes to marriage, fatherhood, ministry, therapy, loss, and the quieter moments that have helped him make sense of it all. As a faith-based memoir, the book feels personal in the way a long conversation with someone can be personal. Beasley isn't standing at a distance from these experiences. He's writing from inside them. One of the most compelling parts of this trauma recovery memoir is the way ordinary places and objects become containers for much larger emotions. A sandbar becomes a place of belonging. A river becomes an image of grief and the undertow of despair. A childhood closet holds both terror and an imagined fire of hope. And a catfish pond becomes a mental refuge, first learned in a group home and rediscovered decades later through therapy. These recurring images give the book its own language. Beasley also writes openly about suicidal thoughts, childhood trauma, triggers, therapy, and the difficult work of recognizing emotions he spent much of his life avoiding. That makes the Invisible Soul Anthology as much a mental health memoir as it is a Christian testimony. Faith and professional help aren't treated as competing ideas here. They become parts of the same healing journey. The heart of the collection, though, is connection. Beasley returns again and again to the people who helped him survive and grow. His wife, Lisa, his daughters and grandchildren, his brothers, old friends, therapists, house parents, ministry partners, and even people encountered briefly along the way. Some of the strongest pieces look at relationships from the distance of many years and allow an old memory to take on a different meaning. In Was It Love or Was It, for example, what he carried as childhood betrayal gradually becomes an understanding of his mother's desperate attempt to protect him. That willingness to revisit the past is central to this Christian healing book. The prose is direct, emotionally exposed, and often devotional, with scripture and faith woven naturally into the author's interpretation of what happened and why those experiences still matter. What stayed with me most is the book's conviction that words can become part of the healing process. Beasley repeatedly shows writing as a way of bringing buried memories into the light, giving language to pain, and leaving something useful for the people who come afterward. Late in the collection, he writes about opening himself to emotions while spending time with his grandchildren, and discovering that something as simple as giving them his time can become an expression of love and a repair of what was missing in his own childhood. That captures the Invisible Soul Anthology well. It's a Christian memoir about healing, but it's also an anthology about being seen, listening closely, loving people while there's still time, and finding meaning in memories that once seemed too painful to revisit. Readers drawn to inspirational Christian books, spiritual memoirs, and trauma recovery stories will find plenty here to sit with long after the final page.
Thanks for joining us on the Literary Titan podcast. If today's review sparked your interest, be sure to pick up a copy of the book and experience it for yourself. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating, or share it with a fellow book lover. Until next time, keep reading, not just to escape, but to grow.